Right. Hello, everybody. Greetings. It is, are we coming up? Removing it. You can hear me. Hi, everybody. Still getting used to the software. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Relentless, our fifth episode on Cafe Lockdown. I hope everyone is doing well. That artist we just saw there at the beginning is from WA, Julius Lutiro, wonderful musician. I had the pleasure of hearing him play at one of our Awake restaurants, Topolini's, late last year. Fantastic artist. And as I had in the comments, he is available for gigs and also tuition. God, I've got something in my mouth today. I can't talk. Great musician. So I thought we'd enter Relentless with that because, as the song is titled, Now is Time, and we are free. So I thought that was rather fitting. That is Julius from Western Australia. So I thank everybody for watching so late here in Western Australia. It is 9 p.m. I know a few people that might be in bed already, and certainly over in Melbourne and the eastern states, it is very late. So thank you all for watching as well. So is anybody drinking Bud tonight? Or, sorry, is it called Dud? Dud beer? I think it might be. Just had to throw that in there. And so we do have two wonderful guests this evening. I will bring on another member of the West Australian Independent Media Group. We have Gwenda from the Fearless Prophet. Hi, Gwenda, how are you?
Hey, Robin, how you going? Good to see you this evening. Good evening, everyone.
Yes, and we were online last night as well, so it's fantastic to see you 2 days running.
Yes, fun.
It's been a rather long day today, so I appreciate you coming along tonight. It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
And you can find in the description the link to Gwenda's channel on YouTube, The Fearless Prophet. So if you go along to the description, you can find the link there. And so our second wonderful, beautiful guest is lovely to see again because Gwenda and I haven't seen her for a little while now. We have Karissa from Kalgoorlie. Let's welcome Karissa.
Hey, how are
Hey,
you?
Karissa.
Hi, guys. I finally got it to work on the computer.
Did you? You got it to work. Brilliant.
Yeah. I had to put it in Brave, would you believe? I just copied the link into Brave and it worked straight away.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I tried
Very
every
brave.
other. Yeah, tried every other search engine. But yeah, thank you for inviting me on here, and it's so good to see both your beautiful faces.
You
Thank
too.
you. Good to see you again.
I think it was December the last time we all were together. So it's nice to be here tonight.
Yeah.
Right. So last week we had Vimeo in Reprobate Corner for censoring the documentary Dead Name. So shame on Vimeo for censoring Dead Name. And so we are going to get into Reprobate Corner.
Hundreds of police confronted demonstrators as they stormed the Queen Victoria Market, where what was billed as a freedom walk ended for many in handcuffs. Bananas in hand. The chaos went from calm to coconuts quickly. Protesters scattered within the Queen Victoria markets, posing as customers, holding their produce. As police pounced and stormed their way in, fruit and vegetables were thrown. Activists didn't stop their fight even after their arrest.
This is just an illusion of power.
When we asked them why they were rallying,
This is out of control. I want to be released. Don't want in prison.
they're sick of Melbourne's strict lockdown restrictions.
Are you from the news? You better put that on the news.
This is. But the choice of location for this freedom rally was unique. I'm trying to do my shopping with my child, and this is what I'm confronted with.
It's the biggest protest so far and comes despite our COVID cases continuing to track down towards the target we need to ease restrictions.
Riot police amid the rows of fruit and vegetables. The Queen Vic Market turned into a battle zone. This is so scary. Sunday shoppers caught up in the middle of mayhem.
Are you here to protest?
No, I came to do my shopping. And watching peaceful protesters get bullied by this number of police is just disgusting.
Wow.
Right, so Reprobate Corner, cheeky, Channel 10. Did anybody notice what Channel 7 and Channel 10 there, the difference in the kitty litter reporting there? Question time, girls, or anybody in the comments? The lady with the baby?
Mm.
Yeah, that was
So
that's the first
we
time I've
had
seen it.
so that footage is actually from 2020 in Melbourne at the Queen Victoria Markets in September. And Channel 7, who I've had some encounters with, you can pop along to my channel and have a view of that. That was rather fun and interesting. But Channel 7 here did put the full clip of the lady saying that she's disgusted that peaceful freedom fighters were being attacked in such a manner. But then we had Channel 10 failed to play the full clip and just showed the clip saying that she was terrified because she wanted to come and do her shopping. So shame on Channel 10 for cutting out what people say and just putting something there to put the story up and follow the narrative and push forward the narrative that they would like to push. So this week, Channel 10 is in Reprobate Corner. Well done to Channel 10.
Yeah, congratulations, Channel 10.
Yeah. I just want to ask the both of you, perhaps Gwenda, about this, this kind of reporting, I think, in my view, contributes to this kind of mass hypnosis with everybody. I'm wondering about your thoughts about media and this kind of caper they get up to.
Well, they're alarmists, aren't they? And they're always looking for a headline that's going to catch your attention, but they use headlines that are extremely triggering emotionally. And of course, their favourite emotion to trigger is fear, especially in the last few years. So that's their big play. And they're all aligned with big pharma. They're aligned with corporations. So they have an agenda that is not anywhere near the interest of the public. The interest is only in keeping the public in order, for want of a different word, but keeping them in order, keeping them down and suppressed. But I will say that anyone that has a brain and uses it can see through it and will step away from mainstream, lamestream media. They do not bring the truth out. Even if they do, it is a snippet and then they put other things with it so it doesn't become the truth. In fact, some years ago, quite a number of years ago now, I marched myself into the West Australian head office in Osborne Park, and I had demanded to meet with a particular journalist for a story that she ran that did not have one iota of truth in it, and she was wrecking a family's life through what she'd done. And I'd rung and demanded a in-person meeting with this journalist, and the editor stepped in to look after her because she was only a young journalist. And I said, I couldn't care less what age she is. You let this go to press. You did not check on any authenticity, any truth in what she wrote. So, I want her in here And when she came in, she was little Miss Coy and little Miss Nervous and Anxious. And I ripped into her for what she'd written and asked her where she got her information. And she promptly jumped up and ran to the door in tears. And the editor said to me that, did I realise that because I'd upset her that much, I'd possibly injured her career for life? And I said, really? And you are not taking any responsibility or interest in what she has done through the article she wrote about the family that she tore apart, that there's not one piece of truth in what she wrote. So you're not concerned about their future and what the public thinks of them that read your trashy paper. Yeah. And she said, okay, I think you've made your point.
Yeah. And that's part of the tragedy of mainstream media is that Gwenda, you've just spoken of one family there, and yet through this whole 3-year shit show, there has been families, relationships, friendships, all been torn apart. And they've been fed the rubbish by the media, and there's no accountability. And certainly the interactions I've had with mainstream media journalists, and yes, indeed, they all are very young and don't have a pair between their legs and have no real knowledge. They all do try to hide away and are not accountable and just like to say that they report the truth. I often hear that from reporters, that they report the truth and only the facts. Only the facts. That's
only the facts. Yeah, only the facts. They do love that line. Only the facts.
That's right. Yeah.
We mustn't forget, we're saying about the young ones, Robin, we mustn't forget our very good friend Jeff from Channel 7. He's not so young.
Jeff
he's
Perry,
the biggest. That's him. Well, yes, we'll give him a little mention, shall we?
It's funny you mentioned Jeff, Gwenda, tonight, because a little later on we do have something special popping up with Jeff Perry from Channel 7 and also Ben O'Shea. Now, if anybody's watched my channel, I did a review of his article here, Ben O'Shea's article in Western Australia. We do have a little special section coming up with Jeff Perry and Ben O'Shea, which is wonderful. Karissa
has say about them, Robin, is I don't think that they have any morals or ethics. I have yet to meet a journalist that here in WA that has any morals or ethics.
Oh, absolutely. Certainly not the legacy media or the kitty litter media. That's for sure. And, I just wish people would use their TVs to watch independent media and not watch the TV anymore.
Yeah.
Particularly media. Karissa, what are your thoughts about these lamestream media outlets that we've just seen right now putting things up for their own benefit and pushing the agenda?
That's right. Well, I totally agree with what Gwenda just said. I'm trying to light a candle because I've seen you've got a candle there. You guys look amazing, and I'm really dark here, so I'm trying to light stuff to make it look better.
I have to say your phone was much lighter, so I'm not sure how that worked exactly, but anyway, doesn't matter. You're here. That's the main thing.
Absolutely. Totally agree. And I don't know if people even think what they're going to say is going to come back on them. I don't know. Do they think they're going to get away with it? Or they just think everyone's so dumb, which they probably are. And I like the way someone said something about sheep. And, I've just been over these people all week. You want to help people. And, you sort of felt for that poor mum, there crying. And then she's like, well, no, I don't really care about the protests. I'm just getting upset because I can't get my veggies. It's just, it's it's bloody hard, you know. But yeah, I think it's good that we pull these people up and be accountable. And I've probably got a bit of a story about that actually.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris. A
Yeah.
quick story, if it's okay. So our local member here, and this is all about freedom of speech, and I love that you've written, you keep saying mainstream media. I've written that down. I like that. Quick story. We went down to Ali Kent's office, and we actually call her something else. So I'll let you imagine.
Can I take a wild guess what that might be, or is that not suitable for viewing time?
Anyway, so on the 4th of March, we went down and she said, everyone's allowed to come down here and ask us questions. So it was open to the whole public. We've been trying to book in with her for like months. We've been trying to book in with all the politicians here. We've been trying to get a local paper, not a local paper, local council, trying to get a special meeting with them. We're like hammering them, like this is what we've been doing. So I'll probably jump in the gun here. But anyway, she said, yep, come down. Anyone can come. So we just all turn up. Well, she gets all defensive. So they take all our questions down. I followed up with a couple of phone calls. She's not available. She's at Parliament. She's doing something else. Some other guy rings me back and says, yep, we've got the questions. Then the other lady that was there said, no, they're not here. We can't find them. Everyone's going to have to email them all in. You know?
Yep.
Talk about double standards. Like, that's exactly what we're dealing with, you know. They don't want to listen. They don't want to know. And this is what we're dealing with. And it's so frustrating.
I remember during the elections, we were working on a story and we contacted every single office in Perth. And I think we rang, it was a good long list. And we got the phones either rang out, no one picked up, no one was at work. No one was working. The phones rang out, or we got the secretary, and she'd take a message because apparently no one was there, no one was working to talk to us. Or then we got two of the media representatives. I'm not quite sure of their official title. We did get two of those, and they pretended to be interested, and took it on board and said that. The person in the office would get back to us. That never happened, of course. But it's always the same. Always the same. So this week we have Channel 10. Channel 10 is in Reprobate Corner. Well done for Channel 10. So, Karissa, we are here this evening to talk about architects of community, and I know certainly you are not a stranger to Cafe Locked Out. Michael has interviewed you numerous times in Kalgoorlie over here in Western Australia. So this show is called Relentless. You most certainly are relentless there in Kalgoorlie. Can you just let everybody know briefly, because we refer to you as the Kalgoorlie Boulder Tribe. Let everybody know at home briefly when you started getting people together and why you started doing that.
What was the first part of the question? When do we start getting together, did you say?
Yeah, and why?
I can remember the day and the time. It was probably it was probably close to about the 20th of October when that first lot of not the first
2021?
No, 2020. And it was the 20th of October. I think, no, 2021. Sorry, 2021.
Excuse me, just a minute.
Yeah. And, of course, straight away, like I showed something to my husband and he's like, oh, that can't be good, you know. And it was one of the last groups to be mandated, which was pretty much everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, everyone has to get it now. Like we've already, you know, got all the big people, you know, apparently all the politicians, and then it went down the line, you know, police and etc. Everyone knows the story. But my friend Coralie at the time, well, she's still my friend, beautiful friend. She's been super busy and doing what she has to do. And she and I got together and we said, we've got to start doing something. So we just started putting stuff on Facebook. And maybe someone might be able to chime in, Bradley and all that are on here, because I think it was like literally the following week we just started having meetings. We just started getting together and having meetings, and it just grew from that. then we started having weekly meetings. And I still remember it, but it was just, we were just winging it like every week. And people were just coming from everywhere. And then, of course, when the mines were really mandated for that last part of November, that's when we noticed, like, yeah, this isn't going away. It's not going to be here just a short time. We're all in it for a long time. So anyway, it was hard because it was really draining. A lot of people were very drained turning up to the protests, and I know you guys would have had the same in Perth. You know, it really did affect you, didn't it? It's
so you had protests in Kalgoorlie as well, did you?
Oh, yeah, we did the same every week. You know, we'd take the PA up and we'd be blaring the songs up and yelling in the streets, wakey, wakey, and, you know, writing chalk messages on the ground and, you know, just anything and everything. But it didn't matter what you did. They never sort of really would come and talk to you. They would bag you and call you an idiot and, you know, you tin hats or whatever. And, you know, we just all stuck together. A lot of us are really, really close, still very, very close, super close. So we actually have a wedding next week because the lady's been waiting for a long time to have her wedding. And, 50 of us are going to actually her wedding because we've all become this close-knit family now. That's where we are in the community, and I think we are definitely going to take it further with that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that when you started posting things on Facebook and getting everybody together and doing the protests very early on, that the majority of people didn't know each other. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. We're all strangers, absolute strangers, and you had the same. Well, Michael, we used to follow him online, and that's how he found us. And then I've got, you know, and you were trying to follow so many medias and so many people, and then before you knew it, this one was gone, that one was gone, and other ones were popping up who were staying the longest, and Michael was one of those. So, yeah, we caught up with him quite a few times when he came to Cal. It was great. And I think everyone knew everyone was doing it tough. Remember when they had the rallies going across the Nullarbor for Ground Epic, wasn't it? Like,
convoy.
5 million people, which was 1/5 of Australia.
Yeah.
You know, over to ground zero, basically. Yeah. And, you know, they probably got too close to that. Who knows? But just the people that came through Kalgoorlie, we were going to Kalgoorlie because they would bypass Kalgoorlie. And we would be parked outside this truck stop with all our signs and just handing over thousands of dollars of donations just to help them get across. You know, and stuff, you know, it was just, you just help out anyone and everyone, really. That's what you're doing because you knew in your heart this was the right thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I've interviewed a couple of people that went across and back again on the convoy to Canberra. Yeah, and their stories, it's a lot there, particularly for West Australians that went across to Canberra because it's a bloody long way, and the palaver that they ran into when they tried to come back into Western Australia. So I bet they would have really appreciated your help and supplies and support coming back again.
Yeah, actually, I didn't even see any of them coming back in. We lost contact. Did you manage to catch up with those sort of people?
Yeah, so there was a reunion party at the end of last year. Pretty much nearly all of them that went across in the number of vehicles that they had, and they're all still in touch with each other, which, you know, another example of a community that has been built, and they still all help each other now because as people know that are watching, we've all had our lives disrupted in many different ways. And so people are still helping each other, certainly within that West Australian convoy to Canberra. And I know when we I'm going to get there, I think. But, I think it's a really important story for Kalgoorlie because you do have a really strong tribe out there with everyone that's still working together as well.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. Well, getting back to the community. Oh, here we go, Michael. So he's in Cow Trips, South Australia. Limited support. Rod was an awesome time. Yeah. So Rod Cullerton followed him a fair bit, went to the border and promoted and supported him. And he still obviously remembers that. I'm actually still in really good contacts with Tonya and Kim. Now, they were stopped at the border too. Now, that was the young Aboriginal lady that was put in jail for 5 days and treated like she was a leper or something. And it was disgusting. I just chatted to her the other day. So, that's going back a while now. Beautiful, beautiful people. And how they were treated, And no one sees that, No one sees it.
It's a real stain on our history, which the powers that be are trying to erase it. And the video that I've uploaded to my channel, and also what I've just presented this evening in Reprobate Corner with Channel 7 and Channel 10 being from 2020, I've been looking at old footage for a project, and there's two schools of thought there about going back and bringing that stuff up again. Let it be, don't gripe on it, don't hang on it. But I think it's really important that we don't forget about that either. And then particularly for people that are coming over the fence and starting to wake up, perhaps they didn't see that footage 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and they might need to see that now.
They would. Yeah. Because one of my friends, we were coming back from a trip last November, it was only just last November, and I told her what had happened to me locally, and she's like, "You're joking. How did I not see it?" And I said, "Well, because we drifted apart. She was busy working. She had a sick mum. We're all busy. And, my life got really busy with the tribe. I was just helping so many people, and it felt good, and I wanted to help people. So once our national cabinet, but, so she was devastated. And then she actually told me, then there was one story when one lady, someone commented at her work crib room. And they said, that crazy lady with the dreadlocks. Rah, rah, rah. She's like, "Is that Karissa?" Like this. And they've gone, "Yeah, that's her. That's that bitch," or something. Hopefully, swear. And she's like, "She's my best friend. How dare you talk about her like that?" Like, but she was all jabbed on there, at work. But she had no idea. I said, "Mate, that's only half of it. I've got it all written down." I said, "You're not going to believe. You're not going to believe what I've been through."
Yeah.
And she's got no idea. That's my best mate.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is. I think
even if you wanted to tell people, you couldn't, because they just looked at you differently anyway. And you didn't how are you going to bring it up? I mean, I only just spoke to another lady today, and she did the same. She said, "I still didn't want it." And I actually thought she was quite I know she didn't want it, but she never told me she went and got it done, because they were almost embarrassed. Like, forced me to have it. She even told me today, she said, "They forced me to have it and I didn't want it." This is an Aboriginal lady, I'm just like, "Oh my God, you poor thing, why didn't you come and talk to me?" But can't save her. Can't save them all.
Yeah. No. So then we had it was December last year, wasn't it? December 2022. We had Independent Media Group go up there. So we had myself, Gwenda, we had Scorpion Media Group, Max Freedom. We took Dr. Judy Wileman, Dr. Mark Lofts, and Hannah Bennett, and also our support crew, Karen, up with us to Kalgoorlie Boulder to unite the freedom fighters and to take the Light Australia newspaper out there. I do have a really short clip here. It was tough because Scorpion Media Group and Max Freedom made wonderful videos of our trip, so it was tough, and I didn't want to mush it.
Have you got the little prospector one?
I don't have that bit, but we'll just.
That was great.
It was great, especially Leanne. It was fucking gold. Yeah, so nobody else would get that. But we do. But I'll just play that now for everybody. This is when West Australian Independent Media Group and medical professionals went out to Kalgoorlie to unite Perth and Kalgoorlie Boulder Tribe freedom fighters last year. Here we go. Nope.
Nope.
You got my full support.
Good work, boys.
Yeah, Max with his drone footage is phenomenal. Really great. So Gwenda and I were speaking the other night, and Gwenda mentioned that wouldn't it be great to have a follow-up after the road trip that we did out there. Gwenda, do you have any questions you'd like to ask Karissa about after we've been up there and what's been going on? I don't know.
Yeah, I've thought about everyone that we met, and particularly at the two events we had where lots of people came together, and I've thought about them often and wondered how they're getting on, what's life like for them now, and that's why I thought it would be worth doing a follow-up with them, coming up and doing another event for them, and just taking people forward to see how they're managing and what's changed for them, because few people I spoke to at the bigger event, they were going through quite a lot of health issues. And one lady in particular, two of her sons were just in the midst of going through some big health issues. And I'd be really keen to hear how they are, where they are now, how they're doing. And I think that it's worth their stories being followed up. You don't want to be, or I don't want to be, a flash in the pan media like the media. Today's news is tomorrow's, it's gone. Nobody even thinks twice about it. So, yeah, these things are so very important, and the tremendous impact that it's had on people's lives. So I'd like to know how they're doing and come back for more support. Yeah.
I know particularly when we went out, I think it's 30 or 40 Ks outside of Kalgoorlie to the Broad Arrow Tavern, we heard numerous people speak and speaking about a lot of people who had been injured directly after the badges, and some people who had passed away directly after the badges. And on top of that, we also did interview some people previous to going out to the Broad Arrow. And so my question to you, Karissa, is that I've often wondered, and I do say, because in my mind, I think that Kalgoorlie was given a bad batch. And this is always talked about.
You reckon a good one? A good batch?
A bad batch.
Yeah, you reckon?
Yeah.
Oh. Actually,
because the amount of stories that we heard about the level of injuries and deaths is quite alarming. I have to be honest, when we were out there, it was quite alarming because we speak to a lot of people.
It's even worse now. Honestly, nearly every third person you talk to is like, oh, so-and-so's really ill and this one just passed away. And it's like, it's way worse now. And to get back to what Brenda just said, I've got Kia's number. She was the lady in the disabled chair. I haven't seen to her for a while. But I can't remember the two boys, so I'll have to chase that one up. But something that just came out of Michael Griffith's Cafe Locked Out, he did a quick interview with Lawrence. Now, Lawrence was the young gentleman that passed away on the Great Eastern Highway. He was one of the first casualties.
Yeah.
It was back in early.
That was with his mum. Yeah.
Yeah. His mum was on the show, And she said, yeah, he had the jab, and 15 minutes later, he'd passed away. And they tried, the coroner, I don't know if anyone's watched that video, but we watched it because I thought, well, this is really close to home. And Michael's grabbed this lady and she said, I want to talk about it. It's time to talk about it. It's been over a year and a half since he passed away. And we all knew that. Now, I brought that up with Miss Ellie Kent, and I've got the audio on my phone, and she shut me down. And she said, no, how dare you talk about that poor boy? This is 3 weeks after he passed away. This is 3 weeks. It was the 29th of November, I think it was, actually. And she said, how dare you talk about him? You've got no right. Get out of my office. She kicked me out of her office. And I can go, this is another interview. We want to go back to her and say, this is a follow-up. You know, you're accountable. This young man passed away straight after. They said he had not any scratches on him, no blood. Sorry to talk about the dead and stuff, but she says this in the video. And they said that he passed away with injuries from the accident. Well, there's no injuries on him because he was already passed away and then he's crashed.
Yeah.
So it makes no sense how that these,
that interview.
you know. So I'm following up her with that.
I remember watching that interview. It was
amazing lady.
A lot of the times when I watch Cafe Locked Out, when Michael's interviewing people that are injured or have family members that have passed away, I always have, I'm always thinking something to myself, and that sort of thing. But when I watched that interview, I was speechless in my own brain, if that makes sense. It really was quite an astonishing story to hear. And I want to find another word. It's not a story. It happened.
She just kept talking about how amazing he was, like he wasn't dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, very early days. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he was just this and he was just that and he was just the most beautiful man, and like, he never got married and never had kids, and just.
So in Kalgoorlie, do you have, given we've just, my conspiracy allegedly is that Kalgoorlie was given a bad batch, I know certainly here in the city there are support groups for people that have been injured, so on and so forth. Do you have something like that that's now eventuated in Kalgoorlie?
Actually, no, we don't. Not for the injured or anything like that. So that could be something. We do have people and we have followed up with a few of them for Hannah's detox and things like that. And we do actually have our own information on our website on how to detox and do all that as well. There was something else you just said just before that, injured. Well, they're coming to us, to our meetings, and we've got lots of people coming to our meetings. We still meet twice a week, Wednesday nights, 7 p.m.
Fantastic.
Kalgoorlie Country Club. That's when we sort of sit around and just talk about social events, keep everyone together, or who needs this done, that done, or, who's writing an email, who's doing this, who's doing that. And then Saturday mornings we still get together at the park at 10 o'clock. I'm telling people in case people get this message. But, that's something we probably should think about, get them together and talk about it. Yeah.
Well, I think it's absolutely amazing. When we were there, we were able to participate in one of your meetings. Where everybody got together at the country club, and they're great booklets.
So we hand these out, Luke. We hand these out. Not that they need proof if they've already been injured, but
And I was really impressed that how many people attend your meetings, and the kind of conversations that people have, and also that I remember a gentleman that needed some help in his home, and there were not enough people no, that's the wrong way. There were so many people that put their hand up to go over and help him. I just thought, what a community you have built, and loving and kind people, that you don't need to ask twice. You've got a flood of people to come and help you.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to start a local energy trading system. So for those that know what that stands for, it's local energy trading. It's called LATS. So it's trading and bartering. And we're just getting that started up in the next couple of weeks. But I've been so busy doing a few other things that, of course, it's always sort of left up to the one that knows what she's sort of doing. But, we're going to start that up, because I started it up 25 years ago with another friend, and it was really successful, and everyone's very excited about it. So we're going to do that, and that's where we can help each other more, because not everyone has money, and, you know.
Oh, yeah. I'm one of the people that has no money. That's
good and you're skillful at doing lots of things, and you can trade and barter. I've been doing that, so I've been putting in a few dreadlocks, and people have been coming around painting and gardening for me. So,
cool. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really good. Yeah, I think we were talking on the other, I think it was on the No Goat show, about jabbing all the animals and that sort of thing, and that we need to source people that do have land and can. I know things like that are illegal. Maybe I shouldn't say things like that here, because even gardening is bad for your health these days. But we really need to get back to the people, community, and bartering, like you've just said, Karissa, within our community.
And tap into your local markets. I'm sure you guys do it in Perth. You buy from organic, fresh produce and things like that. We do the same. We've got a great guy that delivers meat from Esperance. You just got to start doing that. The pistol people, the gun people, like we've got connections with all of them. There's lots of land here. We're trying to source that. Actually, before I forget, there's a really cool, I need to post it somehow in there, but I'll have to get it from my phone to there. Maybe I'll send it to you and post it in the links. So down near Wellington Dam, there's a meetup for local members like yourselves, minded people. And it's from my friend in Esperance. I don't know if you know her, Terry. I won't say her last name on here, but anyway, she's got her land. She's got her sovereign land, and they're building the community, and everyone's going there this weekend, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm actually supposed to be there myself, and I can't get anyone to come with me to help share the driving. Esperance. No, I'm in Kalgoorlie, darling, and these two up here in Perth. So that meetup is just out of Bunbury, and it would be ideal for anyone in here that wants to go down and have a sneak peek. You can give her a call. I can give you the number. Yeah, it'd be good.
Say Wellington Dam.
Yeah, near there.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I know there's lots of them around, but this is a new setup one. So it's everything we're into, hopefully, burning incense, whatever. But there'll, be fires there. They're looking for like-minded people exactly like us to come along. So, I'm happy to share all the details. It's $50 to camp for the 2 nights, leave no trace, all that sort of thing. Pretty simple, simple stuff, And they're setting it up, so they're showing us the way. And I've been doing a lot of research on all this, but I need to find the land. And here there's just so many leases. There's not much land, and we have to go a long way out, and that sort of is too far for me. So I'm thinking of going further south and just in a bit. But so many leases, so it's hard to get the land.
So we've got Sharon. I hope I've said your name correctly. Would love to connect. Kalgoorlie Tribe is on Facebook. If that's if you're meaning with Karissa. What's that?
I think he means the Wellington.
Oh yeah. I post something in the chat. Where's that button?
Yeah. So I think probably the best way to do it, Chris, if you, I don't know if you can post something on the Kalgoorlie Boulder Tribe page on Facebook, and people can go across to, I'll spell it.
Put my name in there and my phone number, and she can just call me if she's,
Kalgoorlie
or if anyone's interested in
Tribe
Yeah.
on Facebook. Yeah, so if you go to that on Facebook, that's where you'll find.
Hi, Michael.
Is Michael here?
Seconds before you, I think. He's got cafe locked out.
Oh no, that's me as well.
Hi. Thank you.
But yeah, absolutely. No, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah. Community.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think because we all know there's lots of different groups and lots of different things going on. And every now and then, again, I have a conversation with people, and some people are very unhappy that there's so many different groups and they think that everybody should be unified. And then we have, other people's school of thought, which is we need the individual groups before we unify. I'm just wondering what you think about that situation there, because that conversation always seems to come up amongst freedom fighters, and whether we should have the individual groups or whether we should be united, what we should be doing.
Yeah, that's a tricky question.
Well, we are dealing with a very complex thing called a human being. And there is always going to be those that want to run the show, though, and that then they want it to have it their way. They want to have the control. It doesn't matter whether you're in a freedom group, a political group, a mother's neighbourhood group. There's always going to be that element in it. And to get people to step aside from that and just be able to work together for the future of humanity, that actually takes for people to learn more about themselves on a soul level, and that's a whole other issue. So where we stand now and how things are now, I'm sorry to say it's a long way off being able to bring everyone that is in what might be called the freedom movement, to bring them all together under one umbrella. And there's so many personalities, and I don't like that one and I don't like that one. That's the unconscious human being. That's the very ground level human being. So until they start to work on a different level of consciousness, that issue is going to be there. But to get around that and to make it a happening thing, the only way we can do it is to find those common denominators that everybody wants. And if that's peace, if that's being able to live in harmony among everybody, then those are the things that are going to create foundations. And that's what I was just writing in comments, actually. Community is the foundation of the future of humanity. And we just have to have that,
Yeah.
So,
we don't. No, that guy there,
Luke.
Luke.
Catherine.
She's coming up next minute.
Catherine, sorry.
Catherine. That's
so
what
multiple groups.
That's what I was.
Multiple groups mean we have multiple avenues. If one gets shut down, just my 2 cents worth. Yeah.
I agree with that.
That's a different take, though. That's different to what you were asking, Robin. Yes, Catherine, I quite agree. The different groups. That's about closing people down. I'm already involved in different hubs to do with that sort of thing. That does not bring everyone together like what Robin was asking about, the people in the freedom group. So really the baseline, the answer, Robin, is it's not going to work. No, it just won't work.
Keep it small, keep just doing what we're doing, because obviously if we get too big, then people can shut you down. As long as we just have lots of pockets, we would all get along a lot better. If it's one big group, like you said, all the personalities, I have it in our meetings. Everyone talks too long. Someone gets shitty with this one. Someone gets shitty with that one. And then they don't come for a couple of weeks. And, they're like children, everywhere you go.
I noticed in the meeting, Karissa, apart from all the wonderful food that everybody brings, next to you also, I don't know if you still have it, but you did have a bell, which I thought
Oh, yeah,
was
yeah. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. That's it. Like, next one. Yeah, you got to sort of time them because everyone just gets too chatty, which is
Yeah.
lovely. And that's
Yeah.
why we have the social events. We have sort of more a meeting on a Wednesday night, which has turned quite social because we haven't been planning anything for a while. And the other one's just normal chit chat at the park, But moving on, I mean, there's lots to fight about. We've got the 15-minute cities. We've got all these other digital IDs. There's lots to focus on, but it's blooming hard trying to rally the troops to go, right, we're going to go and do this next. And then 5 people turn up, Everyone's just
well, it's got to be something that hurts them, Karissa, before they'll act on it. Yeah. So you're always going to find that you'll have pockets, and back to both yours and Catherine's comment, there will always be pockets because those pockets have got something in common that they're not happy with. So there will always be these mixtures of people essentially wanting the same thing, but they're all coming at it from a different perspective and a different angle. So it could be the 5G towers, or it could be the 15-minute city, or it could be the can't grow your own food at home, or it could be that you aren't all jabbity-jabbed up so you can't go in there. So these are all the different reasons that people will come out, but they won't necessarily agree with that pocket over there because that pocket over there is not of interest to them. And this, again, is the human failing. So having all these different reasons is because whatever it is hurting them, and that's why they will act. No one will act until something hurts them, and that's to me, that's a human weakness, but it's just the way it is.
Yeah, I'm because particularly with the division that's happened, 2.5 years ago, with just being badged or unbadged. I mean, that was a clear division, and you were either in that group or that group. And now this conversation where we have the different groups, and then people don't necessarily agree. But we all do have the same goal in mind. I'm wondering what it is that we can keep in our minds so that we don't get bogged down with these little disagreements we might have, and keep pushing forward to being free and building our community together and not getting bogged down with that. What is it that we could keep in our minds, do you think, to keep moving forward?
Well, the word that comes to me is peace.
I thought of love straight away.
Yeah, peace and love.
Well, that would solve everything, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And that's really the essence of the human experience, is peace and love.
Oh,
so those things everybody wants. Well, 99.9%.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about Mr. McGowan. I don't know whether he wants peace and love.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
Teddy's just typed in the message. You'll see it's coming up. Really good.
Yeah. Shall I read it out? So, Teddy, I met a soul sister on a UK Eco Village group chat when the Great Reset LTNs was mentioned. It was immediately jumped on and told it was irrelevant. Wow. They all seemed very woke and fluffy without facing realities. I don't see how that will work long term. The lady I met was wonderful, and we both said it was worth meeting the pretenders to find each other.
Yep. Thank you, Teddy. Couldn't agree with you more. Yep. And that's the other thing, that you've got to filter through these woke fools and all the fluff, the fluffy people. It's like, see, I wouldn't be in those groups, so they'd have to be over there. Not my interest. Yes, children's future, Catherine. Yeah, I was thinking about that. And that's the whole thing about the future of humanity. That's our children. Our children, our grandchildren, they are the future of humanity, and they should be a driving force. But with this LBQZ, pink, whatever, all the alphabet that's out at the minute with their rainbows, there's a lot going down in the States about that. And the backlash that the parents are getting, are the parents who don't want that gender nonsense in the schools and all the rest of it. And the backlash they're getting at the big Lego store over there and what's going on is unbelievable. So once again, we've just got these individual groups and we've got small numbers of people that will step up and speak out. And if you look across history, sad to say, it repeats.
Yeah.
So
I've
what
noticed
we do is keep doing what we do.
Yeah. Catherine's written here 8:32. I know Michael has been looking for a symbol and has been suggesting that perhaps we put in place as 8:32. The truth shall set you free. And so I'm not encouraging graffiti or anything like that. That's not what I'm talking about at all. But yeah, I know that's certainly something that we can put around the place. I don't know. So Karissa, just to ask you finally, because most certainly I most certainly see you as an architect of community, and along with Leanne and a lot of other people in Kalgoorlie. If people, because even now people can still do things to start building a group community within where they are, is there some sort of advice that you could give to people if they've had that thought in their mind, I think, oh no, I can't do that, or oh no, I'm not very good at doing things like that, or oh, I don't have the time, but they have that within themselves, that motivation. Can you do you have something you could tell people that are thinking that?
Oh, look, I mean, it's easy for me to say because I'm that sort of person that just gets up and does it anyway. But for people that are a little bit shy, I mean, definitely try and, gel with people that will help you. Not everyone's, like you say, is going to see it the way you see it. I think it's still just connecting with humans. I mean, if they're awake and you've just got to give them the time of the day and try and just help them. I think it'll go a long way in our own hearts, I suppose, is, knowing that you've done the right thing and it's going to, like karma, it's going to come back to reward us. Not that you're doing it for the reward, but, it's just talking to people. And I think that's what the group sort of says to me a lot. They go, gosh, you just know how to talk to anyone. And I go, look, I'll just be friendly and just talk to them. And you never know. And it's funny. And they're like, how did you get good at it? I said, well, the more you do it, the better you get.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like anything. It's like dreadlocks. I didn't know what I was doing 12 years ago either. But now I do it, and I'm good at it. So I think it's just whatever you got to do, follow your heart and just do that. And if you know it's right, then that's what you're supposed to be doing. And your gut feeling, your gut is really important as well.
Yeah.
We all did that. We knew what was right and wrong.
Yeah.
I have an acronym that I use, and it's RAW, and it means Real Authentic Woman. But I'm going to change that now to RA, Real Authentic Human.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Well done. That's awesome.
Love that. Beautiful. Yeah. And Gwenda, I had mentioned earlier on in the program that I had something special with Jeff Parry and Ben O'Shea. We have had such a beautiful conversation. I didn't want to bring it down with their filth and disgustingness. But I'm just wondering if we might just slip it in purely for a bit of comedy because there is a backstory to it. It is on one hand, it's really upsetting because they are talking about our friends here in Western Australia. But I think I will go ahead and play it and we'll just have a short discussion afterwards. This is a radio program here in Western Australia, and they were talking about, again, when the mandates were in force here in Western Australia, about a restaurant who refused to comply, and good on them. And there was a whole the police were in there. You can go along to Scorpion Media Group. You can see the Topolini's video. Now, this is a radio show that they were talking about the restaurant and the owners and the supporters that were there. And this is a good example of, if anybody's read 1984, the 2 Minutes of Hate, the propaganda that they spew at people to make them hate the people that they're supposed to hate. This is a good example of the lamestream media. Once again, we started off in Reprobate Corner with Channel 7 and Channel 10. This is the West Australian and Channel 7. Continuing on and talking about this restaurant. Now, this is Jeff Parry, a 7 News reporter, and Ben O'Shea. He has a radio show and also is a lead journalist for the West Australian. Kitty litter, sorry, choked on my words.
Mudraker, you mean?
Yeah. So this is the very end of the radio segment talking about a wonderful business. Let's just hear how disgusting these people are. So let's just have a look a bit at this.
I don't think I would go along and have a meal there, which is no reflection on their restaurant particularly. It's just they're a bit sort of on the edge for me.
Yeah, you don't need that. You don't need a side of stupidity with your with your spaghetti marinara.
Correct. I mean,
I prefer garlic bread.
That hand, that might be an unvaccinated hand that puts the plate on your table.
Yeah,
who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's pause that. A side of stupidity and an unvaxxed hand.
Yeah.
Do you hear what they've been saying to people? And let's remember 1984, 2 Minutes of Hate. No wonder people think that we're mental, and there was that division and still is that division.
Oh, yeah, it's with everything, isn't it? Every single
Isn't it
thing.
disgusting?
Yeah,
Shame on them.
Yep.
Well, it just took me back to when I was nursing and AIDS first came to Western Australia, to Australia. Same behaviour. So, once again, things just don't change. And the people, the mass people that have not, evolved, grown, got past believing the government and media, and that's what astounds me. The nurses were freaking out when AIDS came because they believed that they could get it just from walking by the bed or from if someone picked up a fork, and if that nurse had been because when we went to cafe, the other nurses were freaking out because those ones over there have been near the ones that might have AIDS. So God help you, you pick up a fork that they've picked up and you'll get it. And nobody did anything about shutting that nonsense down. So what he just said on there about, the unvaccinated hand on your food is right up there with that. And it's just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
That's right. And that's why I think, because last night, Gwenda, we were talking with Kelly from Geraldton about how freedom fighters, particularly now, and I'm sure, Karissa, you can agree, we've become tired, and we've become weary. It's a long spiritual battle, certainly in my view. But I particularly, hearing those things spurs me on, because there's no way, particularly someone mentioned up here about children. Certainly for me, I started filming because of the children, and just hearing things like this, people still think like that. And as you've said, all the way back when people were scared about AIDS, and we haven't come any further from there. So I want to keep moving forward. And Karissa, that's why I admire you doing what you've done. And I said, Leanne and everybody else in Kalgoorlie Boulder, building your tribe as you have done.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's been really good. And like I said, it's not just me, it's the tribe.
Yeah.
It's just because I don't know, I've got dreadlocks, maybe they need to pick on me or something. And it's sort of like funny as we had a joke there for a long time actually, and we do collect donations and we've donated heaps, and actually the light's been great. It's been a really good wake up to all that light, because we give it out to everyone, you know, especially ones that are jabbed and are seeking the truth. But yeah, funny as when we talk about stuff, you know, we get donations, and quite often we just joke and I go, listen, I might have to shave my head soon because I need to go incognito. And they're all like, don't worry, we'll put you back. You know, you won't be going to jail. We'll come and fish you out. So, you know, and I would do the same for them, you know, and I don't think it would matter who it is. We would all just have each other's back. Yeah. And that's what the community is about. Yeah. But like you said, you do get tired, you do get weary. You've got to just keep going with it, and you know, hopefully we get to save all the children we want to save, you know, and keep the future going.
Yep. Well, I'm going to say thank you very much, Gwenda, for joining us this evening. I always enjoy speaking with you. It's always a pleasure. And Karissa, I'm really happy that we all three could catch up again tonight, and especially on Cafe Locked Out, because people who know you.
I'll keep in touch more. Like I've been a bit out, but and then I had trouble logging in, so now I'm all up to date. It's all good. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Pleasure. And I must say that most certainly Gwenda is relentless, and indeed Karissa and all of the Kalgoorlie Boulder tribe are most certainly relentless. So we cannot let these globalist, nefarious people, I don't know if people is the right word, I don't think they are.
Critters.
Yes, forces, critters. Yeah, we can't take our foot off the pedal. So thank you to the both of you.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Robin. And I'd like to thank our audience. There's been some great comments, great interaction tonight. Thank you all very much. Catherine had some great points, and I can't see. Oh, Teddy, yeah. Thanks so much. Everyone, thank you for being here. It is very late, so thanks for staying with us.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Thanks, Jackie.
Thank you, everyone. Cheers.
Anything else you'd like to say, Karissa, before we end the stream?
Well, if anyone wants those details for Terry down south, I'm still looking for a buddy. I want to go to the forest. Basically asked a lady nearly 2 days ago, don't even know her. I'm desperate, take me. But, if you want more details, let me know. Yeah.
Yep. So, people get onto the Kalgoorlie Boulder Tribe on Facebook, and please go along to the West Australian Independent Media Group on Facebook. We have some exciting stuff coming up with another road trip. We're going out to another regional area, which is fantastic, Shelton. So that's going to be really great. People can follow along there as well. So this evening we have a really special song that we will be playing out to. It is a collaboration with Hang Loose Recluse, who is a great independent content creator here in Western Australia, and also Paul Jarrah. We had Paul Jarrah last night on the West Australian Independent Media Group. So this is a collaboration with Hang Loose Recluse and Paul Jarrah. And there we've got caltribe.com. Please go there. And so I'm going to say good night, ladies, and thank you very much. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Robin. Good night, everyone. Good night, Karissa.
Thank you, guys.
Good night, everybody.
See you, Robin. Thank you.
Okay.
Wait a moment, my friends. life is so sweet, only sometimes. Oh yeah, our life is so rich. I hope tonight. Our life is so rich, only sometimes. Our life is so rich. I hope tonight. I hope tonight you will be alright. Are you ready for a run with me tonight? Come on, run! Oh yeah! Alright. Are you ready for a run with me tonight? Thank you.